What's up, pool party? I thought it was Alonso. I'm actually trading right now some oil futures. Didn't realize you guys were here. I think the energy long is upon us. That's a pullback that we're waiting for, and I think we should be looking for oil longs now. I think this gap is gonna be left unfilled, judging by the weekly 20 MA and the daily 20 MA on oil. So I'm right now long oil, not at a good price. If it start working, I'm gonna add, but so now I'm a little down right here. I'm a little down, but that's fine. I thought I could buy the retracement of this pullback, but no, it went deeper. It's still valid, and I just have to withstand a lot more risk, you know. But I think this gap's gonna be left unfilled, and oil should be a long from now. We'll see. Just judging by the weekly 20, daily 20, everything right here. You could argue that it already went deeper and held once. You would like to actually see it once time, right? But I'm going to bet on it and bet on a bounce. See where it takes us. If you look at USO, I mean, if it has the first daily 20 EMA bounce like here, so we might start getting into some oil swings right here. And we'll forget about tech for now. There's some setups on tech, but honestly, I think there's more to do on oil. So we're gonna go through some oil tickers. I don't like what it's doing. I don't like to be down that much. Every cent on oil futures is $10, so it's not a lot of money that I'm down. But once I get a full position in, you know, I'll see what's up. I think I'm streaming on YouTube already. Let me see. Let me check real quick. Let me check. I don't have a black screen on YouTube again. No, I don't. It's good. By the way, my neck hurts like a muffler right now. Super bad right now. Um, yeah, it just see. I'm gonna have a stop loss below this, so that means that I'll take quite some risk. It's quite some risk between here and this stop right here. We'll see, boys. We'll see. So we're gonna go through some oil tickers. I haven't seen them at all yet. I haven't seen them, but if the oil thesis is right, there might be some good opportunities on some oil tickers, and we know that there's some what's it called stocks that also had the gap along with oil futures, and we're gonna be looking to long those, right? So let's see. Let's look at Oxy first. Let's go for Oxy. Um, let's see. We're having a bounce. What is this? I guess it filled the whole gap from oil futures. If you notice, you know, it didn't stay. I know. I think this is a Warren Buffett gap. I'm not sure if this one had a gap from oil futures. Let me see how many days is that. One. This was on April 3rd. So yeah, April 3rd. Yeah, they had the gap on oil futures, because he also had the gap of Warren Buffett buying. Then than the gap on oil futures. That gap fill, so I'm guessing a lot of the stocks already fill that gap. You know, stuff like Devon Energy had a little gap, never filled it. Now it's looking like it's gonna do a two up, two down, two up strat reversal. You know, so this is a cool bull flag. All of the candles are ending green, even though today was a down day for 0.67%. I think you know, I think we can probably hit higher. So we'll be looking at some setups. I still extended from the daily 20, so I'm gonna wait on this one. Let's look at XOM and CVX. Inside candle on the daily and XOM and CVX had two down, two up. So I don't like that this one started too extended from the daily 20, but this one looks like it made a bounce of a favorite retracement. This one actually doesn't look bad as a setup. Look at that. So if you anchor from this low to this high, we have a 618 retracement. So this was a good dip to buy. And to seek to continuation, we would like to see the next day to open about this high right here. So I'm gonna set up an alert. This is a possible play for tomorrow on CVX. CVX right here. All right. Possible play for tomorrow. Let's see what else. What else? What's a good ticker for oil? APA. APA bounce at the daily 20. Is it a retracement bounce? I don't think so. It looks kind of deep. It held at 61865. I think this could be a setup as well, judging that it's not extended from the daily 20. That is good. You always want to see that. You always want to see that. It indicates that there's no, it's not too much expanded, you know. So we're gonna be looking at some upside right here on APA, breaking about this high. So the trick about this next couple of days, you know, so we can nail a trade on this, is to open relatively close to the highs, you know, on tomorrow. If it opens lower or something like that, or if it opens below the prior day open or something very low, then we're not gonna look at it. Okay, let me do something real quick. Let me get some water real quick. All right. You got bored watching YouTube? I see you, Prophet. I see you. So yeah, I think it's gonna be better to go along USO from what I'm looking at the setups. I'm not a fan of Oxy. I'm not a fan of XOM. You know, I'm not a fan of XOM, judging by that it's like it's ranging like an inside candle. So I guess we can play the inside candle, you know. But I'm just not I'm not a fan of this setup, to be honest. I'm not a fan. You know, I like to see stuff that I pull back more, to then go up later. CVX, I think is better. I think it's better. CVX, in my opinion, CVX looks a little better. Just judging by the daily candle, the structure, you know, is how he makes this kind of hole of the 618. We missed the entry on the long right here, But it's all right. We can see the look for the continuation higher into this. As we speak, this thing is bouncing at the daily 20. So I'm confident on this setup. Uh, I don't have a best entry, guys. I could have made at least $100 if I had bought the lows right here. But it is what it is. What I'm gonna look to add into this trade is to see some kind of like a hourly push, some hourly candle that takes out all this. Something that I will look for is something like if an hourly candle takes out all this, I'm gonna look to buy the retracement of that candle. So meaning like if we end up doing something like this on oil, I'm gonna try to buy the retracement of that candle to then take it higher like that. So when I'm near the 20 and near the weekly 20, I buy, guys. I buy. When I think it's on an uptrend, obviously. Let's see. Let's actually look at the volume right here to the sell side. I mean, it's insignificant. It's just overnight. It looks a little bit significant, but to be back to bullish, he has to go across this, about this high right here. Just because of that move. Oops. Yeah, so we're gonna put an alert right here. Come on. Single. At or above. Right there. I don't know why he's deleting it from the chart. Anyway. So yeah, if you guys find a good setup for oil, I'm down, to it. As of now, I think for tomorrow we're gonna start longing USO contracts. That's what we're gonna try to do, at least for the VIP room. We'll see. We'll look for a swing. We'll look for something. Let's see. Profit is throwing it. DKNG. Didn't you just have earnings? That thing has been trending higher and higher and higher, no? And earnings are still not there yet. I mean, what can I say? Something that already took off. Yeah, ER is until, I don't know, next month. So not even here yet. But no, you would like to see, I guess, if this move has a pullback, I'll buy it. If this move has a pullback, something like to these levels right here, like the 20s right here, I'll buy it. I'll be along with you. I was not aware of this name actually, but we could be running into a case of a cupping handle, right? If this is the cup, if we can make the handle, I'm gonna buy the handle. I'm a little hesitant to buy it right here, because it's extended from the 20 MA. You could have thrown me this setup on this candle, I would be a buyer, You know how I am. But right here, I'm not a buyer. Neither a seller, right? It doesn't mean that if I'm not long, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna be shorting. It just means that I want a better positioning. If I think it's gonna go higher, I want a better positioning of this long, So we'll see. I'm zoom out. This is the daily. I know I know the weekly. Like if we go down to the weekly, I know. He made a base above the weekly 20. So I like to see some kind of pullback, before I can long it. But it definitely has more targets to go for the upside. Definitely, especially like this kind of this double top right here that it had before. That could be a good target. And that's a lot, right? $20 to 24. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of gains on some weekly contracts if we can nail the entry. It hasn't started on the weekly. That looks like I already already did an average weekly range. But I'll tell you what. I think I'm gonna be a buyer. I'm gonna set up some alerts. I don't know if this is the end of the up move, so this one's gonna be hard. That one's gonna be hard. But what I'll do is if we pull back to these levels, I'm gonna set up an alert. But even then, I'll have to wait to see if there's signs of reversal. Then I'll buy the pullback. I don't know. Yes, and I think, I mean, judging by the volume, there's no signs of topping yet. The volume is increasing, but you'll see signs of volume, the topping volume like this, right? Like this is signs of topping volume, you know, or bottoming volume is like this, large, you know, capitulation bottoms, capitulation highs. So we'll see, we'll see. Let's see. Let's talk about the ES and NQ. I didn't even want to touch it today because I think that there's not a lot to talk about. The candles have been doji after dojis on the S&P 500. I mean, on ES and NQ, right? So it feels like every day we go nowhere. Every day we end up having a range, but we end up closing the candles very very close to the opening price, right? It's just a small little body on the wick. So I'll check a win. I'll check a win. I'll check a win. I'll check a win. Let me check the yes. I was just waiting for people to join. I'll check a win. Um, but yeah. So I do think that today having placed a lower high and a lower low, it gives the perception that we're gonna head lower into the next session. You know, because the other daily candles, even though they're dojis, they were placing a higher high, higher low. This was not a higher high, but it was a higher low. This is a higher high, higher low, and this one ended up being a lower high and a lower low. And then on the next one, you know, we'll see. I mean, this one is developing, but this will suggest that we're turning around to the downside, and I think it's just a pullback to go higher later, honestly. So I will favor a pullback of this market into something like this, you know, something into like what 41.43, 41.40, in between that area, and hopefully the daily 20 MA meets, and then we're gonna take a big long on this name, on SPY and then the S&P 500 and whatnot. So that's my thinking right there. And the only thing that could potentially send the market higher, it's the looking at the NQ. Let me see. Looking at the NQ, if we notice this can be, I mean, it wasn't exactly a daily 20 MA bounce, but being this far is like good enough. Like it doesn't have to be this close, but I think if you anchor the retracements from here, we also have a bounce of the 618, right? Yeah, there you have it. We have a bounce of the 618 retracement on this session. This session lows were the 618 retracement. Right here. Was it during the overnight? Yeah, it was right at the open on the overnight. So the 618 held on the market, and that's bullish in itself. That's bullish, and we would like to see if that's really gonna send the market higher. We would like to see the market on this overnight not drop below these retracements right here. If you notice, the lows right now of this overnight session is the 6-5 retracement. You know, the last place for the bounce. So this indicates if the answer is in the Qs, like we sometimes say, you know, we have an hourly. This is best seen on the hourly. We have an hourly bounce of the 6-5 retracement, and we also have a 618 bounce on the daily. You know, from this move from year to year, a 618 bounce, and this hourly has a 6-5 bounce right here. So, and then to be entirely bullish, you would like to see, because this is a bearish move right here, this sell, obviously, obviously, you would like to see above this level right here to be entirely bullish. I mean, obviously, you want to be, if you can long it right here and risk a stop below this low, that's very good, you know. I think so, because that will make a total sense on the chart, knowing that the daily is not extended from the daily 20, and that indicates that there's a lot of upside to go for in tech. And if the tech goes to the upside, then you know the S&P 500 will go to the upside, you know. So um, we'll see. Right now, it looks like it's playing out, and like I said, the if that low gets respected, we might see more upside on technology. No, I don't think 40-30 by next week, but I don't know. I mean, just we're just looking at the daily time frame and see if we can have something in the meantime, you know, because we know we have a lower high compared to this high on the NQ, and I do think that we're gonna reach these highs on the Qs right here, which is 330 something on the QQQ. That will send the SPY upward, of course. Uh, that will send the SPY upward, and what else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah. So I'm very aware of this level as well. Before we hit this level right here, I'm very aware of this level right here. This represents the 20% from all-time high decline. This is the bear level. The the Qs will make headlines once they cross about this level. You know, I can almost hear on CNBC going, you know, a bear market, QQQ rallies out of bear market territory. Uh, uh, you know, it's no longer a bear market. Blah blah blah. This and that, and then it's all over the news and blah blah. You know, so I can already tell you the headlines that we're gonna have when that happens. And right now, like I said, it's doing a very bullish 618 and then a 618 bounce, you know, 618 618. So we have longer dailies and hourly time frames going bullish on this, and it is actually going, I mean, we're actually going higher right now. You know, I don't know if you guys are trading futures, but this thing is actually making us 5 minutes higher lows. I like that low. I like that low. If you can sustain the risk, putting a stop loss below this low, I think we can have a nice. You can have a nice entry even right here. You know. What bear market? The bear market that never happened. Profit. The bear market that never happened. You know. So I'll tell you what. I think energy is heading up. I think tech is heading up. And that's it. I don't know what else could be heading up that catches my eye. I mean, we just need tech to go up, right? Regardless of Netflix doing how it did, regardless of Tesla doing what it did. The market is very resilient. Meaning we didn't drop at all, right? Yeah, we basically have the best entry was right here. We kind of missed it. I wish I had seen it. Need to set up some alerts. I'm gonna long the oil trade for as long as I can. I'm gonna try to long this the oil chart. Probably I should go into tech instead of oil. Well, I could trade both, right? Actually, let me do that right now. I'm gonna get in a small position and have a wide stop right now. Why not? Instead of just talking about it. How much of a loss is this? How many points is this? It's 27 points on NQ. 5-minute 20 MA is viable. I think this could be the loss of the session. Yeah. Let me look at the distribution today. The distribution was very bullish on the market at these highs right here. Yeah. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna keep monitoring into it. I'm not gonna get into anything right now. But that's a low. That's how lows are formed, you know. I mean, and we're talking about like whenever we see something like this, we're not talking about a little scalp, you know. We're talking about to at least break this high, you know. We're talking about going from what was this? This right here, right? We're talking about going to at least 10% extension right here. So this high right here, and if the daily is playing out, which is a 618 bounce, then we're talking about a bigger even target, which is you know. Hold on, let me align this TA. So yeah, going back to this high right here, that'll be a target. The market is very resilient, guys, and there's nothing bearish about it. So of course, we're in earnings seasons, and the market is very reactionary to earnings at the moment. Let's see. So we're done talking about ES and NQ, I think. Um, yeah, we're done talking about it. I think let's look at this lows overnight being, like I said, being the ES above the 618. So the NQ, I think the Qs have the answer to this move. They're having better price action at, you know, or not better price action. They're having about the same price action, but the levels are hitting to the penny on the NQ. So um, let's see. Let's check out my friend's win. I'm guessing you're on a win trade right now. Oh, what a bullish after hours, man. Did you get in before this candle after hours? Was there some news? I don't trade news, you know that, right? Wait, so we had LVS earnings? Oh, that's why. That's why. So you're playing earnings, but with a proxy of LVS into win. Oh, that's something else. That's something else. Because the chart, I mean, the chart looks like it's topping right here, but obviously, you know, it went it's bouncing at the 32, so that's bullish, but above the daily 20. But nah, it's not something that would have swing, but obviously you're coming a winner because of LVS. So that's pretty cool to see. All right. Any tickets you guys want to throw at me or any questions? Jerry's saying short. I see them. Roblox says, hold on, I'm trying to get into a position on NQ. Let me just get a position on NQ real quick, now that it's pulling back. Because this one's gonna need a super wide stop. So I had to get small. Come on, order fill. I'm not getting, I didn't get fill at all. Let me see. Order fill, let's go. The super wide stop. I'm gonna bet that this is the, those lows right there at the lows of the session. Alright, position set. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll let this thing stop me out if it's gonna do it. But those could be the lows of the Asian session, so we'll see. God damn, I'm so bullish everywhere. Too much bullishness. I don't like that. Roblox, let's check on Roblox real quick. So I'm guessing it had some news that made this drop. It rejected the daily 50. That's not very good. And holding the weekly 20. This is good. I like this. So going long Roblox for the gap fill. Was there any what was the news on this thing? Says reporting key metrics on March. Okay, so some key metrics on this thing. So obviously you have a gap fill because of that, right? I do think that is holding the weekly 20 and that is good. If your perspective is on the weekly, that will make you hold below this lows right here. There's a good opportunity to be seen right there, but I don't like those gaps can be left like that, and especially earnings are coming up. They can be left like that until earnings decide if it's gonna fill it or not. So that's gonna be another question. Um, I personally don't see a good trade today as it is right now. I don't see it. I mean, this thing broke a trend line right here, and it's below it. It's super below it. I honestly don't know if it's gonna start filling the gap. You notice there was an attempt to fill the gap today, but it only reached the daily 50. So above the daily 50, you can bet for the daily 20. You can see if a candle, if we open tomorrow above this high, this is what I will do. trade it into the daily 20 only. And we know that the daily 20 has been multiple rejections and bounces on this one before. We've been having it multiple times, um, so yeah, why not? Why not? But but yeah, no A plus setup, but that's what I will do. Depends on how we open tomorrow. Let's see next name. Jerry. Jerry's like it's red. It's going short into 38. I mean, mm, I mean, I see it broke that trend, right? But it's just the trend is still up on the weekly. You're missing an opportunity to buy the dip if you don't buy the weekly 20. But you know, as a day trader perspective, a day trader perspective will tell you that this right here could be possible, depending on how you open tomorrow. If you open above this high or not. If you open above this high immediately, I think it's a shot. There's a shot to it, as a day trader perspective. I'm also very bullish on NQ. So, and if the Russell, what is the Russell doing? I forgot to look at that one. I mean, it's not that Russell is part of the. I mean, Robos is part of the Russell, but small caps they're still holding above the daily 20. It's the small caps are not bearish, you know. So I tend to look at stuff like Roblox to be not as small caps, but I mean some kind of yeah. You have to look at this type of stuff. I look at tech for part of Roblox and stuff like this. Have to look at Arc. I think Arc has Roblox on it. I'm not sure. Uh, let's see what else I was gonna look at right now. I forgot. IBM by Scapegoat. Why you guys always ask me about something that has earnings or had earnings or something like that? I mean, this is IBM. Actually, let's put it for the list of tomorrow. I don't like to trade earnings, but IBM may be a good one. Right now, this pre-market. Where's the price at pre-market? Right here, right? Let's set the price where it landed at pre-market. This is the pre-market highs. Let's see where it ended up on the chart. Okay, so it traded about this high and at the highs are right here. So tomorrow, if it opens about the daily 20, that's gonna be very key. That's gonna be very key. I think as this one, it's a setup. I've seen it before that marks tops. So if I were to flip this picture around, and this is one of the candles that I end up having a little top right here, and then you end up gapping above that candle like that, it ends up being a abandoned baby. That's what they call it, an abandoned baby. And this is an abandoned baby to the downside. So I think IBM is bullish on that regard. I mean, technical speaking, the technicals are gonna be the ones speaking for itself, right? Um, that's what I think. That's what I think. Yeah, I never do charts on ERs because I mean it all depends on um, on the results, right? I mean technicals are gonna be thrown out the window once the ERs comes out. Who cares where there'll be some levels, right? Like before the ER came out, they respected this trend line right here. It set the lows of the session right here for IBM. But now this one I do consider is kind of like an abandoned baby. You know, I think the latest example I have for an abandoned baby is at the DXY. Let me show you an example, so you understand. DXY at the highs. No, was it at the highs? No, it was a 10-year yield. It was a 10-year yield. I'm sorry, it was a 10-year. That was a sign that the 10-year yield was done an upside. You know, when it got up like this, and it has a small range like that, that's your little abandoned baby. So that's a good example right here. And then and then the upside's over, and then it goes the opposite direction after that. You know, so that's an example right there. So we'll see. Yeah. So IBM, like I said, for as a day trader perspective, if it opens above the daily 20, that's a bullish sign. We have to know. I mean, looking at if you see at the weekly perspective, we if this positive earnings result ends up as a positive catalyst for IBM, is gonna be placing a higher low on the weekly time frame that sets the. I can see that this is like a 618 bounce. Yeah, like a 618 retracement bounce, higher low, and this could start a trend higher into IBM. You know, if this earnings are gonna be a positive catalyst for it. And that's it. I do remember some earning seasons where IBM was very. It was like the leader of the tech run up at that moment. Even though a lot of people ignore it, I think it's still a pretty cool, pretty good name. So yeah, and I mean for the bullish side, you still want to see way above this. I'm gonna get rid of this. Actually, you know why I have this line right here? I think it's on the monthly, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah. I traded last year or something like that. IBM on this trend line, massive trend line. I don't think it's playable anymore, but I still keep it. Massive trend line on the monthly. But yeah, I mean we have a set of highs, which is this is a lower high, and a high right here. So IBM to really consider like even as a long term investment, once you break this high, you have changed the trends. You know, you have placed the first higher high compared to this high, and so I think it's a if it ends up being a low right here, I think it's gonna be very bullish. We'll see. So I don't know why I'm being very bullish on tech, very bullish on oil stocks. I don't know, probably too much for my own liking. Any other tickers, guys? No tickers. Um, yeah. I'm just doing a little recap for oil for the people I joined late. There was this huge SKT rate. Let's see. Let's do let's do. If you want to short SKT, let's see. I'm glad that people gave the perspective on their. So earnings coming up. Um, I think this is the first candle that closes below the daily 20 after the break of it. So if you notice right here, when you look at this chart, um, there was a held of after it broke on this candle. This name was holding the daily 20 right here. right here, and this is the first one that closes below it. It looks like, I can tell you right here that this is probably a retracement rejection right here that it did around the 50% mark and start trending lower. I will think that if this low breaks, I will think that this is shortable into like the 1850s right here. You know, making a 50% into a 50% extension, something like that. Um, that will, I think, let me see the weekly real quick. Weekly. So it rejected this little supply right here. Still extended from the weekly 20 MA. So this one will have to lose this weekly low, I believe. You know how notice this is a little deeper low and this weekly low is holding above this one. So this weekly still developing. But below this level, I mean, if this leg up is going to have any essence right here on the weekly, was still, was still dropping to like, let's say if it loses this low, I think it drops to a 50% retracement, which will be the weekly 20 MA, about the same time. So that aligns with the 1860s. So that's a possible target. I don't know if a huge drop, let me see. Doesn't have the to me the signs of a huge drop. It has the little look of a head and shoulders, I guess, if we want to trade shapes and forms. A little bit of a head and shoulders formation, but it's I haven't done rates a lot lately. Let's see what XLRE has been doing. This bounce right here, this recovery of the daily 20, setting the daily 20 right here looks bullish on XLRE. I don't know if XK is that part of XLRE. Let me see real quick. No, it is not. Okay, so it has nothing to do with that. Got you. Yeah, I think if you were looking to set this highs as I think the perfect entry is kind of gone. Perfect entry was around this area right here because of when you consider a leg down and a retracement higher to then go down later, you kind of want to take like half the price, of what it just did, half of the move to what it just did to short those areas. But this is the first day of the daily 20 EMA crossing below and a little doji candle. It actually looks it looks great, right? The volume is very average, but it didn't go anywhere. Not even the range, Forget about it being a doji candle, but the range of the candle. I agree. I think there's a technical possibility of breaking lower. Multiple holds of the daily 20 and then you just don't do it. That's probably a sign of a breakdown. Are you already in a position, Quantum? Hold on, it's SPG. They had a major pullback, but this one is part of XLRE, and this one is looking like XLRE. This one, I think the market is being optimistic into those stocks right here. This one looks like it's placing a higher low. This one actually looks like a bullish setup right here. Um, I think it's gonna attempt to break this highs right here. It's coming into a daily 20, so it has to see if it's gonna be met right here on this one. But this ends up being looks like a whole of the 38.2 retracement. Yeah, the 50% retracement into the whole of the daily. Okay, the weekly 20 is coming up, but if you look at the weekly, this weekly candle already broke this high, and this is a higher low. This is signs of bottoming. Not much of a bear flag anymore. A bear flag will be something like this, and then broke down like that, and that it looks like it's changing course right here based on this low right now. Oh, look at that! Our oil futures on for the people that join with me are paying off on NQ. We're having a breakout right now. Happy to see that. So it's time to put the stop loss, moving the stop loss to profit. I went with very small size. This sucks. It's just the risk was very great with the risk was very huge at those because I didn't buy the 618 retracement. I bought way higher. Cool trade though. Cool trade. That's a cool $500. If I were to close it right now, I don't know. I'm gonna try to see if I can run this thing. Let's see. What else is next? What other name you said? The BNO. So a little bit of bottoming signs. I think this one is super dead right here. This is a higher low coming in from after a big leg down. So on the weekly, let's see the daily. Yeah, the daily is placing bottoming signs on this name. AER's coming up on those names, so we'll see. I mean, that's gonna be depending on ER. It's not that far away. Is that gonna be next week, right? But this is showing bottoming signs, especially this longer volume breakout right here. Um, yeah, those higher lows right here. Because whenever I see the weekly doing this, something like this, you know, a little higher low on the weekly, that's a short-term bottom, right? Especially if it comes with like a 50% retracement. Look, it's going until it went into this highs right here, so you know. Then you have the weekly 20. I don't think it's yeah. I see a little bit of interaction to the weekly 20, not that much right here. But I will like even though if this goes higher, it's showing that bottoming signs right here, making this low. I was still looking at the retracements of this leg down right here that it made for a possible rejection here, here, or here, which I will possibly look for this one right here. I just need the oil trade to pay off because I'm heavier on that trade than the NQ one. I mean, I don't know what my assessment will be. I think my assessment will be to look for the ones if I'm bullish for to be the ones that are looking for bottoming signs. If I'm bearish to look for the ones that are looking like they're not bottoming anywhere, right? So I think you're headed in my opinion, right? Everybody's on trade, but your head's in the right mind on the SKT, but I'm not sure of the other ones for shorts. The other ones do have signs of bottoming. So, Can you look at this chip? C Energy, so SE, or is that chip? Are you saying chip right here? The HIP? I spoke too soon on the oil trade. That thing is rejecting. So you're looking at this one SHIPC Energy? Okay. I thought it was C Limited. um, so he's still on a downtrend. I'll be looking at some kind of daily retracement. Are you looking to short this name? Because this will be the best place to do it. According to this daily retracement, and if it goes higher into this one, shorting them back down, back to 6, then long back to 6. Okay. So I'm not that big into penny stocks or stocks like this. Actually, I don't see a lot of setups on this kind of names. The it broke the daily 20 and held it. So I don't know. This is gonna be probably a hard pass on me. Let me check SE real quick. Rejection of the daily 20, broke above. I think we can long this if it opens above this right here. So I think that emoji. Sorry, Jerry. I think that's gonna be me for today. I think I'm past my time, but appreciate you all for coming. Gracias por estar aquí, and until the next one, guys. Thank you, Scapegoat. Thank you, Quantum. Thank you, Jerry. Hasta la próxima.